Hi everybody, it's Dennis, the Active Trend Trader. Are you one of the traders who has a difficult time finding great growth stocks to trade every weekend? Well, we've got the answer. Welcome to How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Options. We're going to cover three things. Our panel of expert traders has picked out three top shelf growth stocks that are setting up and ready potentially to trade next week. Number two, an analysis of the indexes showing which ones are strongest, which ones are weakest, and what the potential is for a move next week. And then we'll also cover another trading problem or issue that you may be having, and we'll provide an answer to that will help you, one, maximize your profits and minimize your losses. So let's get into today's session right now. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn, the Active Trend Trader. I want to welcome you to today's session about how to make money trading stocks and options, plus some trading tips. We've got our panel of elite stock pickers ready to throw out some stocks that we're all taking a look at this week. We had a little bit of a challenge this week in finding some good setups. Things are either what I was finding things were either way extended to the upside or way extended to the downside without a lot of really great controlled setups. And so when that kind of thing happens, what do? You basically be patient. As I was sharing with everybody that after we're done here last week, my wife and I went to a birthday party at one of the local restaurants, and it turns out that we were potentially exposed to some people who had COVID. So guess what we get to do after I'm done with the sessions today? I'm going to go get a COVID test. We are really excited about that too, let me tell you. Now, hopefully we are feeling okay, but as I shared with Steve and Anil earlier, is when something like that happens, just the slight, and we found ourselves looking online, what are the symptoms, and I have a little bit of a scratchy throat, my sniffles are, and so, hopefully it will turn out to be okay. And we've been saying our prayers for that to be the case. So, hey, remember, we're here to not just survive, but to thrive in any market. What do we do to do that is basically we want to maximize profits, minimize losses, and active trend trading is designed to do that. It's a tested, proven, clear and simple system designed to show you what to buy, when and where to buy it, when and where to sell it, and then what the expectations. In today's session, what we like to do is we basically get in and we take a look at the market indexes. Then we take a look at the stock picks for the week. And both Steve and Anil and myself, we will basically say, hey, here's what we're looking at for stocks for next week. And then basically a stock checkup if we have time to do that. So let's go ahead and jump over to this. Remember what Peter Brand has to say. And we've talked about this before. If you don't know precisely what signal is yours, how you will size and manage your position, stop trading. If you do not have a setup signal, don't trade. Oftentimes I see the majority of people get hurt trading when they try to see a setup that just isn't there. And they'll try to justify that, but our eyes will play tricks on us if we're trying to get into a trade, to get into a trade. Remember that traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication or promise of future performance. As you can see, the P&L for the year so far has just been going all over the place, kind of wonky. Last year's P&L was well above the white line. That's my 40% mark. And I'm anticipating this to basically take off through the rest of the year. but it's been a challenging year. I'm about, a little bit under half of where I wanted to be during this time of the year. Now, on a P&L, you're not going to go and follow a perfect straight line, but I would certainly like the trajectory to be up and to the right a little bit more than what it is. However, we did basically go back up into above 10% for the year so far. And as you can see, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell, all of them are showing, healthy return. But, each one of these indexes hit these particular levels early on in the year. And then since that time have not done a lot. And so when that is the case, what do? Basically what we do is we wait for our setups in order to, continue to trade. So let's go ahead and jump into the indexes. So I am going to approach the indexes from the avenue of, there we go. Okay, one, we've got the TSI, we've got the market forecast on the daily charts showing negative divergence and turning down to the downside. We've got prices still hovering above the 8-day moving average. So that's a positive. We have not had any kind of a back down to the downside after we had 2 weeks ago that move on a Monday that turned out to be the next big rally attempt. Now we're trying to still digest this, this move to the upside, but price action are still respecting the heck out of the moving averages. So what moving averages would be of interest to me with the S&P? Well, in the past, it has hit off of the 50-day. And so the 50-day is a good target level to project down to say, okay, which actually corresponds pretty much with that uptrend line. So any price action move back down towards that uptrend line might give us an opportunity to go ahead and jump back into a trade on SPY. At this point, I'm not going to trade it to the downside. Everything is just stacked, heading up. Yes, the market forecast and the momentum TSI are facing down. However, it's just modulating, coming down to a level of support of momentum and then bouncing back up to the upside. So nothing, nothing to get excited about, nothing to write home about. And just as I wrote last week, trade the pullbacks until the pullbacks stop working. That's my approach for right now. On the Qs, similar type thing. Here we were Monday 2 weeks ago, blasted out, broke up. We did have a breakout above the resistance level there. So the breakout has, for all intents and purposes, failed kind of, but it's still respecting the moving averages. TSI, again, TSI looks like it wants to head down. Of concern, I think, for the Qs or the NASDAQ is that the longer term momentum may roll over, but what is the expectation if it does? Well, again, where has it respected on the way up? Well, right there at that reddish line right there, that is the 20-week moving average, which corresponds to about the 100-day moving average. And so we would anticipate price action pulling right back into that area. And that's, up until that happening, there's not a lot to do. Now, would we want to take a trade to the downside, a counter trend trade? I would say, not really. I mean, one can venture a speculative trade to the downside and make it counter trend, but you're going to want to be out of it really, really fast, because what has happened, and just take a look at what has happened in the past, is you got a big move down over a 3-week period of time, but then a really quick rebound once you get down close to the moving averages. And again, I think that 20-week moving average is a good downside target to be able to plan a trade against. And so what I'm looking at, probably, I'm going to guess about, I'm not guessing, I'm looking at the chart over here, looking to the left, about the 347, anywhere from 345 to 350 may give us an opportunity to jump back into a trade on the Qs. Excuse me. Russell. Okay. Russell had an excellent move. As you can see, Russell came up off the bottom. Not a great reversal candlestick Monday 2 weeks ago. However, on let's see, there's the 23rd. There's a 23rd. We had put in an order I had put in an order to buy some if we went down into the midsection of this candlestick over here, and it did. We actually got into a trade on TNA, took off part of the profits on that for the premium members and also the autopilot trading members. So we picked up about 11% there, and now we're just hanging on to the rest of the trade. What do we have going on? We've got kind of a mixed bag on IWM, shooting star. After a 2-day uptrend, that's, and then we get another jump in and sell off today. Price action came right up to the, I want to say that's the 100-day moving average, reversed, and is now putting in a second shooting star. And so watch for a pullback down into these past lows here, or another way of looking at that is, let's go ahead and grab that. And let's go grab that and extend it the other way. There we go. Now, if price action get down to that line, now it's a little bit steep, and so I'm looking anywhere, somewhere 218 or so, or where these buyers came in before. So oftentimes what will happen, you get this jackhammer effect where prices will sell off down to where buyers were present. We know there's buyers down there about the 217 level, and so that would be an opportunity to jump on to move back up to the upside. The other thing that we want to see here is the moving averages are starting to shift back up to the positive direction, and that could coincide very much with the often the market run, or not the market run, but the Russell's end of year run that tends to do, and typically tends to beat the other indexes. So, gentlemen, that's what I've got right now. Not a lot, like I said, not a lot to write home about on the indexes. I will continue to trade the indexes off of the moving averages, especially on the Qs, the NASDAQ, and then just wait for a pull back into some of these lower levels on IWM. Lower levels, when I'm saying that, 217 to 215.60. Because right now the TSI on the weekly does look like it wants to roll up to the upside and continue to launch. I'd like to see a close above the 8-week moving average, which corresponds to about the 34. So that's what I'm looking at.
Got a question for you, Dennis.
Yeah.
When you're trading the pullback on the indexes, where do you set your stop if it?
it depends on what I'm, it depends on what I'm trading, Anil. Like if I'm trading the, if I'm trading the leveraged ETF, like we had a trade on that we wanted to pick it up towards the bottoms, toward that low right there. Well, actually down in these levels right here. And what I'll do is and we picked up at about $80.10 is what we actually got into the trade at. My stop loss, I was going to basically just put it right below that candlestick right there, slightly below that level or below the moving averages. As long as I was keeping it within 5%, that's my trigger. So I'm looking for two different things. One, where have past prices, rebounded, or where have past prices established a line of demarcation? So there's a good one right there. And I think, let's see, do I have that up?
Dennis, if I may, if you got in on that bar 4 days ago, once that bar was near end of day, I would easily just put the stop right on there, a couple of ticks below the low of that entry bar.
Oh yeah,
because if we reverse that, something's wrong.
Well, but on the initial stop loss, the initial stop loss was kind of like here. And again, I was looking at making sure it was less than 5% or less. Now that I agree wholeheartedly, Steve. Now that we've actually taken profit off the table when it came up here and hit this level, my stop loss now, my trailing stop, is break even.
Yeah.
So it's where I got into it, $80.
Yeah.
So Now, if I were trading, let me go over here to QQQ really quick.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And my basic rule of thumb is I get to break even as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And it's a no cost trade.
And
it's certainly no cost to the ego, to the psyche.
That's right. So, like on QQQ, if I came down here and it triggered off of, let's say the 20-day moving average right there, Anil, what I'd be doing is I would be basically taking a look at, okay, where is my next logical stop loss? Now, the bottom of that low right there, that could be one, or I also have this level of resistance over here, about the 357 level. Another area to say, hey, that would be a great place to jump out.
Right.
But again, that's for putting in my initial stop loss.
Right.
So excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the stocks for the stocks for today.
Facebook. Okay, I guess that's me. I like Facebook. It's been in a very nice trend since the middle of March. If you look at the weekly chart, right after that sideways action, it's been a nice trend. Nothing's changed. We're having a pullback occurring. We're at the 20-period moving averages in the area where I expect the pullback to hold. It is. I'm not clear yet that it's holding, so it's not an entry today. But I'm looking for price action to show me an upside reversal that would trigger an entry for me.
I got it. Yeah. I like that, Steve. Yeah, one of the things I would be anticipating, again, I always go back and see what moving averages in the past did it respect the greatest, and clearly the 50 right there, 50 Absolutely. Right there.
Yeah.
But also you've got something going on with a 34-year.
Correct.
And also I had, that is an inverted hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And an inverted hammer at the end of a downtrend, even if it's only a 3-day downtrend, is a candlestick reversal signal.
Yeah. It's not a strong one in my view, but
no,
I'm looking for a reversal.
Yeah.
In this zone.
Yeah. I like it. So, and okay, Anil. NUE.
Yes, I got NUE.
Yeah.
And that is based on the triple screen system that I'm following, and on the weekly chart, NUE gave a signal. So, and I like it when I get a signal and the stock is still in the base. That
Okay.
means the uptrend has begun statistically, and it's still in the base. So I go for it.
Now, are you a buyer right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking here. Yeah, this has got weekly options. That's good. So you're a buyer right now. Yeah, I like that. Oftentimes, when you get these moves on the weekly chart and it starts to roll up and the momentum starts to shift up, that can oftentimes put you in, put the trader in line for a very significant move to the upside. So, and since this has got earnings are out of the way now,
Yep.
that looks really good.
And I got a signal on the daily chart also a few days ago, and then now it's on a weekly chart. So
Cool. Okay.
it happens.
Now,
Drum roll.
Drum rolls, yes.
and here you go, Lowe's.
Oh, it looks good.
Now, what are we doing? What am I doing with Lowe's? Well, one, I'm anticipating a run into earnings. Earnings is up on. Let me grab that. It is on 8/18 before the market opens. It is basically finding support down about the 191 level, and this is actually kind of, I think, kind of a safe kind of a trade. You can almost take the trade right here off of the, it is sitting right on top of the, I think that's the 100-day moving average. It is. And if I take this swing low right there as my stop, you're gonna just be shocked. That's all of a less than a 2% drop. So I would give it a little bit more than that, probably about 2.5 to 3%. But I think that's a good move. And recognize Lowe's is not a barn burner. But if we could get a move of anywhere from 5 to 10% prior to earnings, that's what I would be looking at.
Sure. I like it.
All right. So any questions from anybody out there? If you have a stock you want us to take a real quick peek at, we can do one stock. Then we have to move on. Hey, Dougie, how you doing? Going once, going twice. A stock. Okay, Mark. That's not a stock, but that's okay. SOXL. SOXL actually, we had that on one of our lists for autopilot trading systems. And depending on if you may have left that in place, it is bouncing all the way back up into a level of resistance. This sell-off on Tuesday blew it out the bottom, blew out the bottom of it. We wanted to buy in here about the $40 level, and sure enough, and then it took off from there and ran higher. I did not like that price action, even though it has reversed higher now and is moving up. So if you got into the trade, great. If you didn't get into the trade, I would wait for a pullback into the moving averages, Mark. That's what I'll be looking to trade that. And we've got FTNT. Now this is from Barry.
It's buyable today.
Yeah, Stephen and Neil, what do you think?
Like it. Buy it today.
Okay. Now you're gonna put
Like
your
that
stop
long
loss all the way.
trade.
You're gonna put your stop loss down all the way down here.
No. I would not, but maybe halfway back in the bar.
Okay. I would look, if I bought that today, I would use the low on that.
Low there, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Neil?
No, I wouldn't get the signal on my system, so I'd stay away.
Okay.
I'm all over it today.
Okay.
It beat earnings really well, so I suspect.
Yeah, earnings are out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, that basically concludes us for today. Let me go back over here to the rest of the gentlemen. Thank you so much for your stock picks. And so Barry was in it and stopped out today. Okay. Just a reminder, I've had several people to join us for the autopilot trading combo deal, where you get the not only the top 5 stocks for the week, but also the leverage ETF for the week. 7 trade setups every week. If you're interested in that, basically, switch over to autopilot, go to activetrendtrading.com, autopilot, or /autopilot/ and you save more with the combo. The combo is just a really, really good deal. And so, and that's what we'll do. I am praying that that when my wife and I go down and have our COVID test, everything else is okay with that, and that we weren't exposed. But it's part of life, modern life in the world today. So, hey,
quick question.
Yeah.
How did you know that you were exposed?
The lady called, or one of the attendees called and said, "Oh, by the way," after the fact, that some of the other guests had tested positive.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we're going, oh, okay. And so, yeah. So,
I'm glad at least somebody called.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, you get the little sniffles and all that kind of stuff. And I get hay fever anyway. So, hay fever.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. And so, and with my hay fever, I get a little bit feverish and all that kind of stuff. So, what the heck is praying for negative? Thank you, Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, buddy. So, okay. Hey, 2021, consistent and disciplined wealth building. That's what we're after. And we want to make that a deliverable. If I can deliver how you can, build your wealth, then I have succeeded in what I'm trying to do. And so, again, aloha, trade well and prosper. Start building now. So, Stephen and Anil, thank you very much, my friends.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Aloha. God bless.